Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Lifting. Today's episode is being recorded on 9/1/24. This is going to be very, very interesting, folks. You're seeing Ryan on a game at the moment. This is going to be about more about Rome's history, and I find this fascinating that it's actually played out in this game. I'm going to have to play this here. First, I'm going to open the circle true benevolence with no conflicting agendas before I do this, as of this moment in time. So, Ryan, go ahead and introduce this game.
All right, we're playing Rome 2 today, and it's because it's got a good map of the ancient Mediterranean. We're inside the um, uh, Imperator Augustus campaign, just so that we can sort of skip ahead and have a big view of the world, because that's what we need for something like this. As is always, we're going to be talking about the real history, and the gameplay is just going to be in the background for people who want to watch something other than two of us just chat. We figured the gameplay would be like while we talk as not a separate thing. While we talk and give more context, and I can zoom into areas of the map where things would have happened. So the last time we set off with Hold on, I just need to figure out which of these two rivers is it. The Rubicon, which would be sort of right here. It's not on this map because basically rivers are a thing to make it harder to move armies in this game, so only major rivers are on it. But the Rubicon is like right here, sort of where this road kind of turns. Zoom in on it a bit more, but in this area of Italy. So this is northern Italy here. And when Caesar crossed the Rubicon, that was like a declaration of breaking Roman law. So what Rome has the rule that you can't march troops into territory of your neighbor, into the Italy basically. So Latium, you can have troops down in like Magna Graecia, the bottom part. Sicily often had legions. Legions were often in this area as well as a ton in Cisalpine and Illyricum. If you wanted to be a bid for an emperor later on, you kept legions in these areas, and then when the opportunity arose, you marched south and went to Rome, and then with your legions that were already proclaiming you as the rightful emperor. That's what happens. Basically, generals were made emperor by their men supporting them, and then they would fight against anybody that went against them. But at this period, the idea of emperor wasn't a thing yet. So Caesar was going to cross and claim dictatorship of the city. At the same time, Pompey and his people all went over here to Greece. So this is a bit later. So like Mark Antony at this time, like Antony's Rome, because this takes place during the second triumvirate. So you have Lepidus, Octavian, and Antony in this, but the original one was Crassus, who died in. Crassus would have died over here in Mesopotamia and Media Magna. Caesar at the time probably was somewhere around here, and Pompey was firmly sitting in Rome on his fat ass because he was pretty much retired at that point. He was the oldest of the group. But Pompey was kind of, after Crassus died and Caesar's daughter, who was married to Pompey, died, the bonds that held them together, there wasn't any anymore. So they ended up going to opposing political sides. Pompey became more of a traditionalist, which is more the elite run everything, the peasants have none. Caesar became more of a populist, everybody has a little bit of power. That's the minor way to explain it. I'm not going super in detail with Roman politics, because unless you're like really well versed in Roman history, you would not it would be pointless. see map. So Caesar crosses the Rubicon, which again is like right here, goes to Rome and sets himself up as dictator. He purges enemies, political enemies that are inside the city. This is commonplace. When Sulla did it about 40 years before, actually, Caesar's name was on that list. But someone was able to placate Sulla and get Caesar's name off the list. But Sulla even was like, in Caesar, I see many Amarius, which is like a big threat to the Republic. But Pompey and his people, in seeing Caesar come down with his army, move over here to Greece and they set up. And one thing we need to know about this at the time, it was Caesar's job to make sure that the calendar was right. He didn't do that for like 10 years, so the calendar was all fucked up. They were months off. So they thought they were in the dead of winter later on when Caesar would go face them in Greece. So the guys in Greece thought they were in the dead of winter and Caesar wouldn't dare try to cross the sea here. Well, he does because it's actually October and it's like the last possible moment he can. And he comes down and smashes Pompey in Greece at, I believe it's Ilia, but let me make sure I have the name right before I do anything else.
Yeah, with Julius Caesar, yeah, he added
Pharsalus.
July, yeah, and yeah, he added July for his name. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Julius part of his name, yes.
Mhm.
So at Pharsalus, which is, let me figure out what. Some of these places are hard to figure out where they are until like you open a map and see for yourself. So I'm looking at something else to do it. Okay, so Pharsalus, based on that, is like here. Oh, it actually shows Pharsalus right here. So they met there. Caesar beats Pompey. At the same time, this is a big civil war at this time. There's battles going on in Spain. There's battles going on kind of along here. There's naval engagements in the Mediterranean. And there, the Egyptians at the time are not part of Rome. They're still an independent nation. Are they in this too? Are they in? Are they in? Ooh, is Egypt? Numidia, Helvetia, Phrygia.
Hmm.
I think Egypt is in Antony's. Is Egypt? Hold on. They don't have a full alliance with anyone. But okay, yeah, I think Egypt is its own thing in this, but it might be called something different because I don't. Oh, this is still my fog of war, so I don't know what's going on in Egypt. All right, but Egypt is still the last independent former Greek kingdom under what's the Cleopatra family, which were the Ptolemies.
Tell me.
So
Yeah, like with
Ptolemaic.
Alexander the Great, all that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so Alexander's general Ptolemy took Egypt after Alexander died and set up the Ptolemaic Egypt. This is like 30 people later, basically. I think it's 400 or 500 years later. I think 400 or 300, somewhere in there. But basically Cleopatra and her brother are in power there. Her brother actually is the power and has tried to strip her of her class, and she is in hiding, kind of. Well, Pompey flees to Egypt for some because I think he thinks it's the safest place to be to try to gain money so that he can go back and face Caesar. When he gets to Egypt, the Egyptians kill him. So Caesar then figures out Pompey went to Egypt. He shows up and he goes to the pharaoh, which is the little brother of Cleopatra, and basically is like, they think he's going to be happy that they killed his enemy, and he's like, no, I wanted to do a triumph with him, and he was a consul of Rome, so this is a big deal. You killed a major political figure in Rome. You are off like horrible despots. And something you need to know is Egypt is kind of Rome's bitch at this point. Like, they're not strong enough to do anything against Rome, but they're friendly enough to like get away with not being conquered.
Mm-hmm.
And Caesar meets Cleopatra, and basically they get rid of the brother. And Cleopatra is made a pharaoh, and Egypt, and then he has a kid with Cleopatra, and then goes back to Rome. When he gets back to Rome, he establishes himself as dictator in perpetuity, basically, until his death. He basically made dictator for life, which is why people were starting to call him king. So we talked a bit how Sulla did it, and when Sulla did it, he left office. He did what he wanted to do and got the hell out and retired to the countryside. And for all intents and purposes, that was his public life done. So Caesar does it and decides, I'm going to be dictator for life, and then instantly starts preparing to go back and avenge Crassus in Parthia, because when Crassus lost at, oh god, I forget the name of that battle. Sorry, some of these things all go together, and I've got
it blends together because, like, also people do that with Roman history a lot. People don't realize it was like 800 or 900 year history, so it was
yeah, but also I've just got a lot going on in my personal life right now, so like a lot of this is hard to keep track of as well.
Oh, you're all right. Yeah.
Tekarahi. I'm trying to figure out where exactly on the map that is. I know it's somewhere in Mesopotamia, but I'm not positive where. Oh, so it's sort of right around here. And basically what happens is Crassus gets absolutely obliterated because Parthia knows that he's coming, and Parthia has troops that can counter the Roman heavy infantry in the form of horse archers, and they'll just surround and destroy. So Caesar's like, I'm going to go into Parthia, destroy the Parthians, and reclaim the standards of the legions that Crassus lost. So every legion has those like banner things, and the standards are the thing at the top, like the little symbols. They are important for various things. Basically, they're important symbolic things, and the reason you have them is to create it's the signifier of that legion. So they were taken, and it's a big deal whenever these are lost, and Rome tries really hard to get them back anytime they're lost. So as a result, the Romans go into like a frenzy about getting back the lost legionary standards. So Crassus is lost standards. Caesar basically goes, I'm going to march down, destroy Parthia, then loop up through Scythia. Somehow, I don't know how he planned to do this without taking like losses, but his idea was to go down, up and around, over through Sarmatia, Dacia, Hercynia, and then back to Rome that way, conquering everything in the path. Not to mention that this is basically most of Alexander's route, because Bactria is modern day Afghanistan. This is India here. like India and Pakistan.
That's where he got
Which would have
stopped.
been
Yeah.
India to the ancient people.
Yeah.
So Parthi is here. So he planned to go most of Alexander the Great's route, then up into like basically Russia and the Ukraine, over and take all of Eastern Europe, likely to about here, and then go down back into Rome within the course of like 2-3 years. It wouldn't have worked most likely anyway, but he never got the opportunity to even test it because while he's about to leave Rome, he's assassinated in the Ides of March. Famous, he gets stabbed multiple times. He actually was fully. There were multiple attempts to tip him off. Antony, who was in Rome, was the conspirators knew that Antony had heard about it. So one of the conspirators that wasn't active in killing Caesar delayed Antony from getting to Caesar, so Caesar could learn. Another patron of so Caesar was there's a patron system in Rome where you'd have a rich guy like sponsor a younger guy. One of the people Caesar was patron to slipped him a note that told him don't go to the theater of Pompey where Caesar was hosting this meeting with the Senate. And so if he had just taken the time to read the note, he would have known that he was going to get killed there. He never had the time to open the note, so he died. They actually found the note on his body, and there's like reference to it in like all the writing and stuff. But he goes there, he gets assassinated, and then Brutus, who the Et tu Brute, they were very close, and that's why the Et tu Brutus thing came. Well, Brutus kind of had to be part of it because Brutus's ancient ancestor like overthrew the kings that originally ruled Rome to create the Republic. So, he like kind of it was expected that he would do that. So then
basically he felt it was his birthright because his ancestor conquered the area. Yeah.
So they kind of hold on. They now try to do damage control. What happens next is you have Antony leading the funeral for Caesar, which basically just turns into a riot when Antony basically on stage with a lot of the guys that killed Caesar there, because this is still like an elite plot that nobody really knows about other than the conspirators, Antony, and like a few other people. Antony basically like openly accuses them of doing it at the funeral. So they all like run out of the city, try to get as far away as possible. Well, then the whole debacle with Caesar's will comes out. And Antony, knowing Caesar has no children of his own, assumes that he's going to get everything. Because they were like best buds. So Antony assumes he's going to get everything. He gets, I think, very little actually. But he's still an important figure because over in northern Spain you have Octavian. Now, Octavian is the name of Augustus before he becomes Augustus. He's Caesar's grandnephew. And Octavian campaigned a bit with Caesar in Gaul. Mostly he's like a camp. He never really left the camp, but he was there. And Caesar really liked him. So he left him everything, basically, which pissed off Antony to no end. And Antony tried to have all of it thrown away and just claim it all anyway, but they were able to win the legal battle. Octavian's only like 19 at the time too, so it's like really hard for him to like come there. He had to come there and be like, "I am the rightful heir of Caesar," and then Antony's like doing everything he can to like as this important political figure to try to stop it, but he doesn't do it well enough. Mostly because a lot of Caesar's veterans are split now over this issue, but more of Caesar's veterans go with Antony than with not Antony with Octavian than Antony. Meanwhile, you have this Pompey, which is the son of Pompey Magnus, running amok in Sicily and Corsica and Sardinia. And so he's still basically fighting for what his father was fighting for, but even though most of his father's people are dead and supporters are dead now, or have like come back to Rome, because right after the war with Pompey, Caesar was like, "You can come back to Rome. I will forgive you. I want to fix the system." So a lot of them that survived the battle at Pharsalus did go back, but Pompey's sons realized they would never be able to go back, so they kind of like cleaved off a little bit of the empire, and they have that. And that's kind of where the beginning of Octavian's political career finds itself, and then Octavian rallies support by being the heir of Caesar to get power in this, and now we're in the second triumvirate era, and this is gonna be, while the gameplay here is the beginning of the end of that. So you have Lepidus, who is a friend of Octavian's and also a fairly rich man, and he is a third one. You don't really hear about him much because he doesn't do much. And then you have Octavian and Antony, as well as the Pompey people. So you can see already, Antony doesn't really like us much. I'm surprised that they're calling it cultural aversion, because we are Latin. We're both Latins, but this is because Antony goes east when they decide to split stuff. Antony takes the east. Why do you want the east in Rome? Do you have any idea?
Resources.
Yes, the east is the richest of the province. Is rich, really rich compared to the western provinces.
It had the most resources. Yeah.
The western provinces are like the classical provinces you think about with Rome, Italy, but the east is where all the money is. Antony goes there. He's the senior member of the party. He gets kind of to do what he wants, so he goes east. Well, while he's in the east, he is a bit more of he starts adopting Eastern customs. A lot of Romans back home are like, Antony's becoming a degenerate. He's adopting Eastern tendencies. He's making love with the queen of Egypt, and he's not being Roman, essentially.
He's just assimilating into that culture. Yeah.
So I'm not at war with anyone in this right now, and that's actually kind of a good thing. It'll allow me to focus on trying to deal with Pompey early on, because I know I'll need Sicily, because Sicily is a big was basically the breadbasket of all of Italy. So I am going to focus on there while trying to help my allies here as much as I can. So Gaul is my defensive allies are Gaul, the Belgi, which are the Belgians basically, and the Helvetii, which are in like modern day southern Germany and Switzerland. The Marcomanni. Who are like the people that I have the worst relationships with? I'm gonna go with so chances for war. Okay. I'm surprised that Lepidus' Rome is considered so hostile to myself, but okay. So we're gonna try to
greetings in the name of the state and so forth. Now, what do you want?
They're only considered defensive allies? That's an odd way to do it, but okay. Is there really no way to... What do they condemn? What are they mad about? Cultural aversion and trespasses against them, which I haven't done it, but it means that in the it's considered before the game started. And agent actions against Antony's Rome. Okay, so they don't like that. I wonder... Antony's Rome doesn't like us for some of the same stuff. And expansionism, which So if I go to myself, yeah. So like nobody really likes me except for the Helvetii, which are basically neutral, and the Gauls are not happy that they're a client state of us. But if I help them in a few battles, I can help them. I can fix that. Otherwise, pretty much no one else likes me. Which is okay. Actually, no. The people that do like me, oh no, nobody likes me though. That was showing me who the Gauls like. Actually, can I see this? Okay, so Lepidus hates Antony too. Okay. All right.
That's interesting how they show how each one hates each other and how
yeah, it's helpful because you can usually play that off. So they actually hate Antony more than they hate me, but not by much.
That's pretty funny, actually.
But
I used to play a game called Archmage that was the same way, where it played very similar to this. Yeah.
Now, historically speaking, this isn't perfect. Like some of these places would not have been targeted first.
No.
But it's going to give you a great idea of the military construct, troops at the time, and it will also give you an idea of major cities. So there would have been smaller cities that aren't showing up on this. But these are the major cities in these areas.
Okay. Yeah, see, that makes sense that a game like that, it would be pretty much impossible to have it 100% perfect because there has to be, like, flexible gameplay in there. So, yeah, it would be impossible to have it. Before anybody bitches about historical accuracy, just know that, with something like this where it's open campaign like this or open world, it's impossible to have it 100%. So what I find interesting when you were talking about the standards, I heard Isaac say, it was their game of capture the flag.
Sort of, yes. If you were an enemy of Rome and you took the standards, it was a big deal.
How would you like your defeat commemorated?
Oh!
An arch? Or a nice column? Or by the wailing of your enslaved
not
people?
What I was expecting to happen in turn 1. Lepidus went to war with us. He doesn't own much.
Oh,
but
funny.
I can call all of these. So I'm in a defensive alliance with the Gauls, the Belgi, the Helvetii, and Antony's Rome, and I can try to get all of them to join the war. I don't think Antony's Rome will. Now I think the Belgi and the Gauls I think are forced to, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, so everybody but Antony decided to join me in that war. They're not going to do much because they're up here, but they're doing it to show support for me and not to break the thing. And Antony, of course, I figured Antony wouldn't do it because Antony hates me just as much as Lepidus does.
That's actually fascinating. The way this operates is the way the actual galactic forces this is actually fortuitous that you arranged to show this way today, because the way that the galactic groups do it and some of the inner earther groups did it is I call it hedge betting of the gods or hedge betting of the Galactic Federation, where they do they play the chessboard exactly like this. How they're actually going to get their human meat puppet to arrange alliances, conquer a territory. This is the exact way they do it. Is a setup very similar to this. I mean, you saw it in the movie Jason and the Argonauts, where you see all the gods playing chess, essentially, or moving pieces around a board. This is very similar, like the game Risk, also that old board game. So it's like that. This is pretty damn close to the way the galactic groups view it, like this. Even if they're sitting on a mountaintop somewhere doing this or in orbit, this is how they do it.
Do not waste time on pleasantries and
much
babble.
like this. I find this very
Speak what you
fascinating.
must and be done.
I'm gonna try to ignore Lepidus for as long as I can down here, and I'm gonna try to still go after Pompey first, because I think it'll be a better situation if I do.
Also, another example of capturing the standard was, I don't know if you ever saw the movie The Eagle with Channing Tatum. That was a Roman movie. That was set in Britannia.
It doesn't sound familiar.
It's with Channing Tatum, and he's an injured Roman legionnaire that actually he gets discharge. He gets an honorable discharge, but he wants to find the standard that he lost in Britannia, and he aligns with a former slave, and they go looking for the Roman standard. He returns it, and then the Romans go, "Oh, thank you for your service," and they don't really give him too many accolades after that. But it's then the two go off adventuring at the end. But that's an interesting movie if you want to see what the whole standard meant to them. Essentially, that example.
Yeah, that makes sense. I haven't seen it, but I will look into it for sure.
Yeah, the Eagle is the name of it, based on the Eagle standard. Yeah.
What are these guys? Oh, these guys are neutral to me. Let me see if I can.
What always bugs
You
me
are welcome.
is
Although
is
my
the movie-
ancestors and
Oh, wait,
people
what's that?
expect talk with purpose and honesty.
Okay, sorry. What?
when the movie Gladiator, that one always bugs me because there's so many historical inaccuracies.
Oh yeah,
in that.
Gladiator's not very good when it comes to that kind of stuff.
No, they cram a bunch of stuff in like one chunk. in
You
there,
bless
like,
our
that
meeting
don't
with these
belong.
terms. I will show wisdom and accept them.
I'm trying to strengthen my relationship with these people just directly north of me, because I know the Marcomanni and the Cherusci are going to be a problem. And if I can strengthen these guys and not have them fighting me, I can help them fight them. And if I can get the Raeti to help me in the Helvetii, that's the goal. So,
Isaac's also pointing out some name similarities to me, what was it the name territory you just said, Marty? Yeah. He's pointing out that the name similarities are also within the Elder Scrolls as well, like Manny Marco, Britannia. Basically saying that there's name similarities within the Elder Scroll.
Yeah, the Elder Scrolls takes a bunch from Roman and Greek history.
Yeah, and also Scandinavian.
Well, like Norse history and stuff.
Yeah. This is interesting.
Oh yeah, no, I don't have.
Retreat!
Yeah,
Retreat!
hopefully they don't come.
Our voyage is done.
Okay, that was not a. Okay, I'm gonna try to deal with it as best I can, and because you can cheese some naval battles this way. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, but I'm gonna try.
Ready and
I
awaiting
need to use
orders.
these as sacrificial
Support
things.
ships ready. Assault ships ready for orders. Assault ships reporting. Ships ready. By your command. Ready for orders. Ready for orders.
These have ready.
Ships ready. Draw weapons.
Oh no, these do have
Your
ram.
commander,
It
support
doesn't
ships.
show the ram on the. Okay, so this might work. This might go really bad for me. We'll see. Go.
Ready
The
and
eyes of
awaiting
the
orders.
Senate and all Rome are upon us today. We must make them proud that we are their defenders. More than that, our Roman gods are
I
watching.
actually wanted to
Make
slow
sure-
motion just so I can. That was best. Where are their shooting ships? That's what I'm worried about. Oh, they're in the back. So that's not. Oh yeah, they're shooting. Well, if I can take what they're doing right.
Our general is under attack.
There's not. Oh, I could probably make a play here.
The men are wavering.
There's amazing ships.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
Oh,
Our general has fallen. An entire unit has
yeah,
perished.
I've lost this. I didn't think I was gonna win when I saw they all had big ships and I had Italy.
Our men flee the field.
I took out 2 of their things, yeah, but I'm not great at naval battles, and to win naval battles when they have ships that are better than your ships is almost impossible.
Yeah, you got creamed, yeah, so, yeah.
But I took out 2 of them, and they're not
Turn
gonna...
about!
I have survivors, though. Interesting.
Drop anchor!
We have fine goods, and you doubtless have much that we would find desirable. So, are we to... Ye have the iron strength of the sword within your heart to speak such wise words. Excellent. We have fine goods, and you doubtless have much that we would find desirable.
They all want to trade, and they're paying me for the honor. Okay, where is this fleet?
It's always interesting how these dynamics end up.
Yep, you're good. I can hear you.
Oh. No, I said it's always interesting how these dynamics end up, how, like, the different enemies react and the who sides whom. Oh.
That's what you want to work on. We'll need Navy in this, I see.
Your orders?
So, I'm gonna have to bring it all the way around to the museum. You gotta like that. Let's try to force it. Oh, they got a fleet right there! That's so not good!
The
That's so
fine.
bad!
Commander, we cannot do that.
Okay, well, I've tossed him to Sicily
Your
on
next command?
Salve. How can I help?
annoy them.
He will fear the shadows.
Oh, and
To
he's
serve Rome.
Go and get your troops.
At your command.
A couple moves after a center, and then I can wing these guys. And I have gaps, so this guy's good.
At once.
They're probably going to try to come out and do something. Otherwise they can take their cities really easily with an army that size.
Ready for orders.
Now what to do with you?
Ready for orders.
I'm sensing that you should head... Oh yeah, you head down here. We can start taking out Spain if you head down this way. Because they're going to come from Spain, because I think that's where most of Lepidus' stuff is. You can see it, but I think they're coming from Spain. If I can get to... Oh, and I also have this army in southern France. Now, I was going to use that army to help up here if these Germans got attacked, but now I'm thinking I'm going to have to send it south. Oh, let's go bring it to Toulouse. You can see the beginnings of the names for certain cities even today. Toulouse. Paris is actually here, but it's not a big city yet. Genoa, Marseille. These are the modern names, of course, that I'm saying.
Yeah.
Carthage is modern day Tunis, but it'll be destroyed later on. Well, it's been destroyed once. It's going to get destroyed again and rebuilt into Tunis. That's modern day Palermo, I think. See, Athens. I mean, I'm not going into Greece right now because I do not want to fuck with having a big war like that.
Yeah, you're already getting kind of raped in your campaign here a little bit, but...
I mean, I've lost a fleet. It's not the end of the world. The fleets are easy to rebuild. And I didn't really lose the fleet. I just lost some units in the fleet. I lost 2 units. I feel like I am going to lose that fleet soon, but I haven't lost it yet. I'm trying to get it up to Brindisium so I can do repairs on it. Agent hindered. Which agent? Oh, him? He's hindered. He just...
Rome's champion. Try
that's
havoc. The gods honor me with success.
Commander,
I think I should actually
Forgive me, but I cannot.
go up this way.
march!
Yeah. Ooh, no,
That
you
is
have to
a
go in the water
dangerous
for that.
course.
No,
Harder, men! Harder!
that was. I'm just gonna redo that. No! No, I can't redo it now. Oh no.
You
Whatever.
overwrote your file, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean to overwrite my file. Okay, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to use mercenaries here, because I don't think this is gonna work, but.
Retreat! Retreat! Ready for orders.
Force them up to there, though, and then that'll help with the protection.
That course isn't open
I'll have
to
to use
us.
mercenaries. This is looking like I'm gonna have to use mercenaries a lot.
Ready for battle!
That's fine. Mercenaries aren't the worst thing to have to use, but I don't like having to use them because they cost a lot.
On the move!
So, yeah, see, Lepidus already had the same idea I did. He's coming.
That is impossible.
I'm actually gonna have you go down
We
with Narbo. You know, you don't have any forces with you. That can be a change next turn. Wait, are you taking attrition? Yeah, you are. Let's get you back down.
Get to it, men!
Winter, and while you're down here, we can have you
Come!
recruit a
Fight
few
for Rome!
units. Because you're not doing anything else. Oh, they didn't do what I thought they were going to do, which saves me.
What would you think they were going to do?
I thought they were going to
The
go
spirits
after,
have noticed that our treasure stores are wanting. Can you help with this small matter?
I thought they were going to go after that fleet that I pulled around to help, but I think I just made it too inconvenient for them. But they are trying to, like, bolster defenses here.
Ready for orders!
Ready for further orders. Advance.
No, it's oh, that's a land army in the water.
Your orders?
No.
Hard on the oars, you men!
They're probably gonna try to go for
The
these.
waves still
What's going on over here? He pulled
Commander.
that army back. Yeah, I figured he would.
March!
The way is
Yeah.
blocked.
And you need to
We hunger for
go
battle!
into normal stance. Oh wow, there's like no infrastructure for military in this area. That's never good.
Ready for orders!
Is this the same? Like, no, it is. There's infrastructure
Ready
up
for
here.
battle!
You just need to get up there.
To your duties, men!
He can recruit now. Yeah, he can recruit legionnaires at least.
Ready to
That's
serve
what we
Rome.
need. I was like, wow, there's no infrastructure there for military. Okay, so let's see what I can do diplomatically to fix some of this situation.
Sit, friend, and let us talk. And let us have good wine until we can talk no. You honor us. There is food enough for 2 armies awaiting us when we have talked. This agreement is like a feast after an empty belly. You are a truly worthy friend. A flapping tongue that speaks without wisdom is not welcome. Be like
they're
a
client
spear
state. I
and
can
have a
walk through their
point. Ha ha!
Well, that makes things a lot easier for me.
Hunger for battle! Faster! Curse you all!
What's Gaul up to? Oh, they're only at war at Lepidus' Rome, which means they're probably not doing anything at all, but just banking money.
Well met, friend. Satan, let your words move me to anger or agreement, as you wish of them. Where have you put... Greetings to you. I trust you come with honorable words that I can hear. Your offer was kindly, but we have... I thank you for the...
Oh, were they not accepting your offer?
Yeah, the Frisians were.
Well met, friend. Sit, and let your
Oh,
words
they're at
move
war with
me to
Pompey?
anger or agreement.
No, I'm at
As
war with
you
Pompey.
wish of them.
They're at war with. They're at war with Lepidus for some reason. With me. No money to pay you, but I want to try to. Oh no, so you're cool with me too.
A flapping tongue that speaks without wisdom is not welcome. Be like a spear, and have a point. Ha ha! I do not think our people want your trinkets.
I don't think your people want my trinkets. Well, that's unfortunate.
The gods will have me listen to you, but do not pass the day in words without merit. This is fair to my people. All that's left is to drink until we roll beneath the benches. You are welcome, although my ancestors and people... A man is judged by his friends. This is not... A man is Well met, friend. Satan, let your words move me to anger or agreement, as you wish of...
So I'm just trying to play the political game a bit. And
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
We will
you
gladly
forget,
listen to your
everyone's gonna go to war
offers,
with you.
but do not wrap them in lies. The spirits know truth.
Speak your speech, so that I may go to the
Wow.
baths and wash away today's stench.
He's at war with everybody in the East. That's why he's not at war with me. He's at war with everyone in the East that's not him. So he's
That's
at war
funny.
as far afield as like way over here.
That's funny. He's pissed everybody off. Yeah.
I'll offer to help him against Parthia. For non-aggression. Yeah, he's not okay.
There could be more joy in this arrangement, but with honesty, we will keep to it.
I'll also decide to go to war. I'll also join war. No, he doesn't want me to help. He doesn't want my help with that one. He's like, yeah, Persia's mine. That's what he said. Parthia, I have a reason to go to war with them. They have Roman standards. Because Augustus finally did get back Crassus's standards when he was emperor, but that's no.
Disengage!
Finding shelter.
There you go. Force me into a battle. I'm gonna have to fight it too, and I'm gonna this is a big force with reinforcements. I'm not that good at this.
Orders! Spear infantry ready! Vigiles!
Velites! By your command!
Legatus!
Not related. Generals.
Enemy reinforcements approaching.
More than that, our Roman gods are watching. Make sure they are not ashamed.
Proud
That's
Romans,
interesting. The statement was made. The Roman gods watch. Yeah, this shows the hedge betting to a T.
Melee troops! We await your command! Legatus!
I can speed this up. We're closing on each other. We've got a lot of like light spear, medium spear. I don't have as many legionaries though. I might be able to.
Our general is under attack.
Get out of there, bro! Come on. Yeah, not. back to the line. I won't try to have them there. Spearmen. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I just lost more than I expected to while doing it. Okay. That's their channel.
Glory awaits!
The men are wavering.
Orders at speed! Withdraw! Missile infantry! No!
Your orders! Ready and waiting! Vigiles!
Quick march!
At your service!
Your orders!
Valites! Legatus! Valites!
Vigiles!
Valites!
Our general has fallen.
Legatus!
Quickly now! For riders!
Your
and
orders!
assemble!
Loose!
Ready! Commander!
Valites!
Vigiles!
Engage! Ready and waiting! Loose!
By your command! Romans, ready for duty! Vigiles!
Missile infantry ready!
Your orders!
Legionaries!
Advance!
The enemy general is dead.
Engage! Charge!
Form testudo and attack!
Melee infantry!
Valites! Ready for orders!
Proud Romans all! Ready for orders! Melee troops awaiting orders!
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display. The battle is turning in our favor.
Ha!
There we go.
It was a bad victory, but it was a victory.
Vigiles!
Jesus, you got semi-raped, but come on now.
It's gonna show up as a pure victory in the end, I think.
Force to command! Ready and waiting! Fire!
Ready and waiting!
It's because they didn't bring enough heavy infantry, and I realized that those spears would not last against like the infantry I brought. But yeah, it wasn't a good one.
At least you beat it, though.
Oh yeah, I beat it. To be fair, they're not like you know what you're doing. They're not hard to win. It's just you don't. If you don't know what you're doing, you will lose.
Yeah, I used to do like Warcraft, World of Warcraft, and all those type of games too. So yeah,
That's a
there
good
was-
view of these the Roman spearmen. Big of these, and then you have the legionaries actually. So whenever you think of Rome, you think of those like guys in the bandit armor, like the legion. Caesar's legion would have been they would have had chainmail, the Monte Fortino helmet, and this is how they would have looked.
Okay.
So now what they're doing is they're chasing down the fleeing enemy. Just so they don't turn around and try to fix. Once they hit that red line, that's like they've left the battlefield. I don't think there's many more of them left at all.
It looks like they all fleed, or most of them fleed.
See
Yeah,
here,
they're all dead.
guys. If they're red, they're mine. If they're yellow, they're theirs.
Oh.
There's one of the standards.
Oh, okay. Now, do you have to retrieve the standard, like go back and try to get it, or what?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
I would have added that in, but yeah.
No, that's not a concept in the game, but it was a big concept historically. So actually, I only lost 400. They lost 1,000.
Okay.
Because in the route, more people die in the route in ancient battles than in any like actual.
Can you repeat that? Because it kind of got overshadowed by
in ancient battles, when an army breaks and runs away, more people die then than when like they're actually fighting.
Ah, okay. Oh yeah, because they're just hunted down at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Ready for orders.
All right, back to the original plan over here.
Put your
Rush
backs
that.
into it.
Rush them to Brundisium.
Ready for battle.
This might be bad.
Victory for Rome!
Waiting for orders.
Ready for... Let them cower before Rome! Commander.
So I took the city. Oh man, now I wish I had done that before I took the boat, because I could get the boat there. But it's fine. No big deal. I actually
Ready
can
for
stop
battle.
paying for the mercenaries. I mean, that'll save me a good amount of money.
Salve! How can I help? Here is a power. Look at that.
I'll weaken them when I do swoop my army over here. So you have now got a very basic set of forces. They have one turn before their field of Mars is done. Not building the brain pits anyway.
At your command.
This army's strong enough for this, but
Regroup and fall back!
not.
Ready for orders. You may as well get comfy, men.
Hire some mercenaries and hold out until I can move them back up here. They'll start to heal over time.
Oh, your armies will heal over
Yeah,
time.
if they're in their own territory, they'll heal over time.
Okay. That's interesting.
These guys right here to trap.
Hold this at garrison. Ready for battle.
Oh, and that's actually going to help that public order too. Oh, they have a horse set up. And they have a temple, which I'm going to go to temple and here. There's no Mars, so I can upgrade troops. Oh, he's in force march, so I can't do anything with him this turn. I could probably raise another fleet. Syracuse, that'd be a good place to raise a
Your orders.
fleet.
Assembling the fleet.
And turn. How much more I can do this turn? Antony's
Uh-oh.
Back! Our voyage is done.
What's going on here? Small land army. They're okay, that's what I wanted them to do.
This is a time for just, proud men to unite in strength. That is why
it's like the
I
very
propose
edge of
this.
Britain. I'm like, where are these guys even from? I'll do that. I'll pay you 100
My words
points.
were heard in good faith then.
Aye.
The skill of your generals is famous. The best aid.
Oh yeah, I gotta go. The politics tab. see what's going on here. I have the majority of what's actually going on.
Fleet reporting. We need good, strong men. Ready for orders. Making for port. Rome needs more ships.
So what's going on over here? They have pulled back.
Ready for battle.
Can I make it to Narbo? I can make it to the border, but if I force march, I'm not getting down.
Any man who drops out is left behind.
That's better. It's even there now, they'll be. Yeah, they're engaged right there now. And you.
Ready for orders.
You have a big army. You know how many horses except for the general.
Ready for battle.
Down in this way. Let's
Make
try to go
haste,
into
men.
the here, like, and they're probably not defending. And then you can go off of a force march, and can I get horses? No, I can't get any horses here yet, even though I have a horse deal.
We hunger for
Those
battle.
are allies. Okay, so the army's like here. I'm trying to figure out what to do now. I think I can just bank money now. The technology, how much longer than that? 7 turns? Okay. Trade and finance. Ooh, I could probably do edicts. I didn't even think about that. Haha! How many edicts can I do? That's the real question. Tax harvesting in Rome. Down here we'll do... Actually, I'll probably go to somewhere where I have low public order. So there, okay, like so over here, they're not very happy. So you do food and games, and that should have placate them for the time being. And here I'll go to Rome. I didn't even think about doing that in the early game. See, that's the kind of stuff that unless you play this game like for a while, you wouldn't even think about it for early turns.
Oh, and then you think about it after you've played it a while, yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
That'll get me more money out of Rome. So you now can go stop force marching and just really prioritize healing these men. Especially the Velites. They're going to be useful for my next sort of plan. In fact, I'll hire more Velites and more legions. Oh, okay, you followed us. Which is not okay. I can't really get you down here quick enough.
Advance!
Actually, if I force march you, I can get you to lose it, and then I can get you down, because I think they're going to try to attack. What's going on? Can I...
Yes!
One turn for them. There is a small... Oh, that's a... That...
Fleet reporting! Prepare for battle! It is an honor to serve Rome!
Yeah, that's a good opportunity for me, because it's not a fleet, that's a land army. On a boat. Oh no, it is a fleet! I just have more ships, so I think I'm good.
Oh, okay. Oh, now it's a naval battle, yep.
I thought it was a land army that was at sea. But it's just a small fleet.
Assault ships reporting! Our missiles await your orders! Firepower ready! Ready for orders! Assault ships Ready to attack. Orders. Artillery
Oh,
ships
they got just a
reporting.
small.
We await your command.
The eyes of the Senate and all Rome are upon us today. We must make them proud that we are their defenders. More than that, our Roman gods are watching. Make sure they are not ashamed.
Boy, the sound is really starting to break up on the game end.
Our general is under attack.
Ships ready for orders.
There we go.
The battle is turning in our favor.
Ready, willing, able. We await your command. Support ships ready. Ready for orders. Our missiles await your orders. Assault ships ready for orders. Faster!
They killed 10 people.
Oh, nice.
See what
Yeah.
I mean? You have more ships, how easy it is to win.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's very easy.
The sea beckons.
And that's the fleet that got beat very early on.
Oh,
It
interesting.
fixed itself up a bit, and now it was able to
Oh, they
decimate.
healed and then they were able to do it. Yeah, able to use it. Yeah.
Yes. Easy into port.
And it keeps their fleets from getting access to the
Fleets
sea,
reporting.
Mediterranean Sea.
Recruiting more
One of the big things about ancient Rome is you have these inner seas that are big battlefield seas, and if enemy fleets get in there, it's really bad because look at all the places they could hit. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, yeah,
boom.
and then it would be impossible to get them out of there because they'd be entrenched. Yeah, so, yeah.
Exactly.
Your command.
It was kind of like in the Greek battle, Salamis, the naval battle, where they
Prepare for
had to
battle!
defend an area like that. Yeah.
Whoa!
Your orders? Assembling the fleet. Rome needs more ships.
We hunger for battle.
Now what to do here? What's going on over here?
Ready for orders.
Nothing. Absolutely
At
nothing.
your command.
Ready for battle.
Oh, you guys have healed up though. Oh no, there's something important going.
Victory for Rome!
That is impossible.
To bat.
The way is blocked.
Oh wow, they broke their camp and
On
just
the
ran.
move.
That's not what I was expecting, but it's a welcome.
We hunger for battle.
Can you, like, hunt them down when they run like that, too?
Yeah,
Kill the
I just
cowards.
did. And look at the balance of power. So the yellow in this is me. My balance.
yellow
of power.
is
If
you,
I wanted
okay.
to like, so even though they're yellow faction, when it comes to like so this is if I didn't want to fight the battle in the field, which I don't. Yeah, it's gonna be a decisive victory.
Is that all?
We hunger for battle.
Make haste, men.
That's because I brought two fairly decent armies.
Ready for battle. We hunger for battle.
Commander,
To keep him close to.
on the move.
That's an important one. I think, apart from the army, just like moving the army around up here.
Commander.
They're making things better in Trevorium.
I want hourly patrols.
Move them down to Vesetio so that they can start fixing our relationship with our people there. Legionary cavalry. Okay. If at any point you want to start the channel, more than one.
Oh, okay. Okay. Give me a second here.
I call now for... This is troubling. You have
This is interesting. I'll have to get this game now because this is actually quite interesting.
We hunger for battle.
It's PC only though, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know if my laptop can handle it. That's the problem.
I don't think you probably can't. You need like dedicated graphics and everything.
Yeah.
I serve Rome. The wolf is at the door. Well, it's not all bad.
Oh yeah, if you want to do the channel here, we can do that.
To victory!
Fleet reporting.
Wait, what is, hold on, there's like a bug going on here.
Oh, okay, yeah, do that first. Yeah.
We need good, strong men.
Alright, we're good now. Oh, that's not good. That's very bad. Very, very bad.
At your command. Get to it, men. Rome needs good fighters.
That's so bad on so many levels.
Ready for orders.
I'm definitely gonna have to pull you
Advance.
up here to like pincer these men.
You have further orders? Any man who drops out is left behind.
There you go. Now you can do channel.
Okay. Okay. You want to go back to full screen?
I can. Oh, you want me to stop sharing?
Yeah, if you want to do that. If you can't do it, then
I can do it. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. 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 I didn't know if it would disrupt what you were doing there. So.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Of course, this is more likely going to be Isaac. Let me see here. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Isaac, not sure why you're in a hurry, but okay. Okay, well, you know the drill. Yes. This is actually interesting, as he was saying, because this does depict, and games like this have been invented for the purpose of not only people gaining military strategic abilities, but testing on those abilities to gain entry into the programs. Very much like in your Stargate universe, the pilot episode, where a young man is playing a video game, wins the puzzle, and General O'Neill shows up. That is one of the explanations for this. The other is, as he says, the hedge bets of the Galactic Federation, or hedge bets of the gods, the rolling of the dice fly high, so to speak. Also, the name similarities between that and Elder Scrolls are exactly as it should be, even reversing names like Manny Marco, Marco Manio, things of that nature. Hercia, Hercine, putting word visual similarities in there. Very much like you have memes that have visual and word associations. The reason this is done is because they want some of these things to stick, want people to actually, at least the ones that actually are supposed to get to this form of disclosure, they want to see, both in the positive and negative, who can retain cross-platform, cross-genre, cross-medium of what similarities they are and what facts are actually there. When you have a fact across multiple mediums, that means it's a true bit of information. So from aliens to actual history, to even the fake history, to real history, and all in between. So this is where also some of it is stored. Of course, most of it is stored in the Vatican Library, as well as other libraries like Caesar burning the Library of Alexandria to the ground, taking the information back to Rome, consolidating resources, very much like you see in the game, consolidating resources, winning decisive battles, things of that nature, knowing full well in the future that Rome would become a powerhouse. And in this case, it's the church. In this instance, though, the negative side is that the bad guys out there want to see who can put these facts and figures together and target them. The good guys out there are testing to see, well, not say good guys, but other factions, I should say, are testing others with different sigils, different everything like you see in the game, are actually seeing who they can use, and good guys are basically seeing who needs to be protected. So the warriors basically get their heads cut off first in this respect. So yeah, the different factions like you see battling in the game very much similar to the temporal wars, like you see in Star Trek with the different alien races and the different time frames, which actually happen. You have that's more Montauk-ish being depicted, but the different military factions that exist, including ones that step outside of time and actually abduct people in train stations, whereas a train is a couple minutes late to the destination because they have diddled with the people outside of time sync. He saw them in a big green lit area. He's even seen cars on highways that are like that. The men in black tend to hide this way and act as a temporal faction. That could be an episode all its own. He compares it to the character of Dr. Time in Batman, where Dr. Time is assaulting Batman or knocking on a door, and Batman hears the knock really loud, or a Star Trek episode where there's an alien race that do the same. These factions exist this way, but to stick with this exact topic, you are seeing the depictions of what is actually going on even as I'm speaking. Even we even spoke about it in the Fallout series games, where I said there were different factions claiming different territories. So this we can go into question.
Okay, so I guess so. You're saying the games like this are used to test abilities.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
most definitely.
And they use that data to decide what they want to do.
Yes, if they want to abduct the person, if they want them in their program, or if they're a potential threat enemy, or if they're just someone to be watched and studied, yes, this is exactly what is going on.
Okay, and then they say they abduct a person based on their abilities in games such as these. What is their job back there?
Yeah, like say if they want them for the secret space program and they choose somebody with an aptitude, say for channeling, or an aptitude for or a strategy, like in the games, they may put them in a military position, such as like flying drones, for instance, or doing computer work in the background, or even a soldier if they have military wisdom, things of that nature. You even saw something similar in your Doctor Who program, where the group called the Suntarans, which were military oriented, chose a human meat puppet basically to conduct their affairs on Earth while they strategized from space. Where the one genius thought he was being smart and were trying to get people to align with the aliens when they were wanting to conquer mankind. This is very similar in its respect, where these military groups are choosing people based on an aptitude for these particular skills. And you'll see an array of other games out there that have different skill sets, such as work with chemicals, work with animals, work with medical, work with military, any of them. You will see them across the entire video game board, even in small respects. Like even with the magic, for instance, what do you have the aptitude of seeing within these games that could be applied in the real world? This is exactly what's going on.
Okay, so say you're taken. Where would most of these kind of people that are picked for strategy and stuff go?
There are pretty much hubs all over the planet where they would go into military base hubs, or you would see kind of like a waiting room scenario. Not quite what it is. It is more or less a recruitment area where they are delegated to different SSP areas, so to speak, or could they even wipe the person's memory and put them within a regular garden variety maintenance type of scenario, like maintaining a ship, maintaining a base, maintaining all of that, and they would just think they were hired on in that respect. Now, some of them go up into the naval craft that are in orbit, the Solar Warden craft, where they have offices there where they're like, okay, you go here, kind of like a Hades type of situation where he said Elysian Fields or Tartarus kind of scenario. Some, if they can't decide where they go, they try a little bit of like, say, sex slave, or they put them in a scenario where they where like soldiering, or they put them in a channeler scenario, or the false area like that, or they put them in what he likes to call it the miracle workers, where it's false religious thing like stigmata. Your Medjugorje and Fatima fall under this category, but an earlier rendition of that, so to speak. But anybody that exhibits certain talents, they put them through the closest translation to this would be a recruitment hub, whereas they basically it's a mix between a recruitment office and a waiting room, not unlike, say, your whole Beetlejuice scenario, whereas they were in a waiting room. Even though that's soul trap information there, we don't need to go into that, but it is more or less kind of like that, where they were waiting to go to their designated areas. It's very similar in respect to that, and they are basically mean average not only on past lives and energy. If they had enough warriors in their past, they're assigned to soldiering, etc., etc. If they have healer, medical, etc., etc. Now, if they mean average it and they see several in their energy, they would pass them off into several areas. The aliens showed them how to do this. They essentially take the chemicals within your amino acids that are within your genetic memory, and not only can view your family history, whereas if you have a history of aggression, they would use that, or pacificity, they'd use that, but your past lives. They could literally turn the amino acids and the genetic chemicals into ones and zeros, where literally you could turn it into a video you could upload to YouTube or Rumble if you wished. That's the talents the aliens showed them. So therefore, they could literally view that person's entire history on a video they could just click on their computer. Or in the case maybe it's a glass pad or a glass wall where they basically tap it, but it's essentially the same thing. They use this on other planets as well, and we have in the programs there's a rudimentary version of it, but it's the same thing. Basically human understanding of that technology. That's where the term hybrid tech comes in, where essentially people are back engineering alien tech or given information by aliens to them and any other ET group, and it's basically human understanding of the physics of the technology, not gluing the two technologies together because they're completely incompatible. It's essentially you have basically a Mac and a PC type of situation, sort of, in that way.
Okay. Let's go on and let's talk about the history itself now with Roman. Let's compare Rome, the Roman Republic, the late Roman Republic, to the current political mess going on in America.
Mm-hmm.
What lessons should we take from that you guys could apply to today?
That's a very interesting statement. There's history is basically mirroring itself because people have forgotten a lot of these facts of history. Those who do not know their history are condemned to repeat it. Even your most recent history with World War II, you see some of the fascist activity happening now applied very similarly, which happened in Nazi Germany and in also socialist countries such as Russia. So this is why some of the elders from that period are seeing some similarities now. Now, if you go all the way back to ancient Rome, you are seeing this exact divvying up of territory and political theater, the theater puppets, which existed even back then. You are seeing nearly identical applications. This is why it is imperative that you know your history and the stratagem behind a lot of these takeovers of these territories, politics, from Brutus killing Caesar to Octavian and Antony, any of these. That it is crucial that you know these things, because once you bring these into your conscious mind and know these history, this is why you have certain groups in your country trying to tear down statues and the like. They don't want you to know even your most recent history in the past few hundred years, because of the fact, I say recent because I remember all the old history, even though I'm in a new incarnation. It's like your movie Infinite, where they remember all. I'm the same way. It's imperative that you know these particular strategies. Case in point, look at the standard of the United States. Does this not look familiar with the eagle? You see, they took this directly from Rome. They took the rest of the styling from ancient Greece and Egypt.
Yeah,
They,
the founders were all super well versed in the classics. They all were obsessed with it. So that's one of
yes,
just those things that most average Americans would never know, but all the founders were obsessed with the ancient world.
yes, they were obsessed with the ancient world. Some had some benevolence behind it. Most of them did not. And I will say most of them did not, because you are seeing literally some of the birthing of a lot of the cabal that you know of today. You have some Masonic influence, which they're blamed for the totality of all of it, and that's not true. You have Illuminati, of course, influence that people mesh all these groups together. You have Templar, which they've meshed into the Masons, which they've split, and there's a lot of split and splinter cell group type crap going on. Then you have today's world, whereas it is a reflection of what those people back then, the ones that everybody reveres. And it is important to know that history, and it is important to revere your freedoms and what is being taken from you. All of this, you must pay attention to this. But you also must remember, these people worked in the background from day one, just exactly like your Roman emperors, your scheming and conniving leaders of all the countries of the ancient world. And just also like in Caesar's time, there were still groupings of people in the background divvying up, making up deals, divvy up the world, just like you have your businessmen. They get on golf courses all the time and divide the country amongst themselves constantly. It's the same shit that is going on now. This is why it is important and imperative that you know what is going on, because they like to regurgitate this from century to century constantly. Your founding fathers of the United States, the purpose of this, and this may be an unpopular response, the purpose of this was to create a cabal capital under the guise of the freest nation on the planet. This is exactly what is going on currently. They even tried to coincide it with different astrological events, like your Pluto going into retrograde, and that happened at the fall of Rome last time. They've tried to, I will say, cover their asses by using astrological data to basically say how great the fall of one thing was and the emergence of a new Rome here is the United States. And I will say this popped up in a session him and Bjorn had recently. The goal is to unite North America. He calls it the North American Coalition. It is a new world order, but they call it New Babylon. This is a project that has been in the works for some time. It is based on ancient Babylonian, Sumerian, Akkadian, and also Roman and Grecian, Spartan histories. This is exactly what's going on. They call the project New Babylon. This is exactly what is going on now. They wanted to melt the southern border. They want people in Canada to become anxious of anything oppressive, their free speech disappearing, all of it. They wanted civil unrest in the United States. They wanted to melt all of this together. This is why you see Mexicans come across the border. They were forced from Central America by the military to come further north. This is why you see Americans going further south, because the property prices are going up in the United States. They're making it so the finances will force them down. They're also trying to almost bust the system, so they can actually tell you what people can and cannot charge. This will turn everything into one united front. And before anybody goes woohoo at this, this is not something to go woohoo over. This is forced New World Order garbage. This is exactly what Rome tried back in the day, and they acted like they fell, very much like Nazi Germany acted like it fell, but it truly won the Second World War because they acted like they died off. Caesar, but Rome was no different. Who is the powerhouse of that area? It's the Vatican Library, you see, sitting on a temporal fracture from the Atlantean Lemurian Wars. That's where all the temporal fractures of the current age come from. Bermuda Triangle, all of it comes from even further back during the Orion Wars, when the Orions came across space-time. But the current questions and objective is this. Your political theater, as you see it, they are both mimicking the Middle Ages from your Black Death period, Hence, you had your scandemic. Then you had also, even further back, Egypt, Greece, and Rome. All that you saw in the Roman history is being mirrored now, even down to the basic dialogue in some areas. Look carefully at your political theater. There are those being depicted as demigods. There are those being depicted as bumbling fools, just like not only in your medieval puppet theater, or even in the Japanese theater, even in your whole kabuki theater, all of it. Some people have dubbed it kabuki theater, but you also notice dialogue even being used. Even some of the pundits out there are quoting ancient history. Look for these signs. You will see similar dialogue pop up, or people quoting similar dialogue, very much like your forefathers in the United States were also trying to emulate the ancient world. This is where you will find where a lot of the infiltrations taking place, both out in the open on your news media and in the background as well.
Okay.
Do you have further questions?
Is there anything that you want to go into?
This pretty much covers this, but the point that I was being slightly urgent on is the fact that you must know your ancient history, even if it is the basic history. Look into this. Start looking in, even if it's even if it's some decisive battles. Mosen history is in there. You have the church that got split up between Father Mort's group, which is the Order of or the Society of Saint Peter, which was depicted in your Pope's Exorcist, and also in Van Helsing with the Order of Saint Peter, and then Society of Saint Paul. But you can get into that further on in a different episode. Know your church's history. Like, they were involved in the Inquisition. They were involved in a lot of this garbage in the background, child trafficking, a whole bit. Look further into this. You will see a mirroring of Rome. You will see a mirroring of the Middle Ages, and also the vying for territory in conflicts such as your 100 Years' War. Look in those time frames. You will start to see what is going on now. This is all I've got at the moment, unless you have any other questions.
No. All right.
All right. Thank you all for listening. Thank you. Yeah, he was putting images in my head of the current political theater mixed with, like, say, around the time of the assassination of Julius Caesar. He was showing me similarities of both mirrorings of exact historical events being slightly tweaked for the basically the audience on television. Now, it's essentially the same theater that's going on. You just and he was showing me similar wording, similar everything. And some other factions in the background are trying to disclose this through video games, are also and movies are also trying to also tell you what they're doing. The bad guys have to tell you what they're doing, so they're disclosing it this way too. So that's how their magic works. I find it interesting. He was showing me the whole assassination of Caesar, and I saw from, like, almost like a camera view's perspective of Caesar being murdered. And I just saw Brutus just kind of just sprinting off afterwards. It's actually quite interesting. It was only like a flash, and I could see that going on, because I could see Caesar in his head was basically thinking about all the grandiose ideas he had, and he was, I think, a little too verbal about it. He didn't have a tight enough circle, and
oh yeah, no, it was like common knowledge that Caesar planned to do. So
yeah, he didn't tighten his circle, is what he didn't do. Is what it looks like. He was like, okay, I'm going to go do this, and how do you like that? So yeah, I just happened to see that, and he was I could see this big smirk on his face, like right up to the time he was murdered. He had this like grin on his face.
yeah,
So
that sounds like it.
Yeah, he had this big Cheshire cat, like almost sardonic, like smile starting to form. You see that, and also Isaac's pointing out, you see that on people doing this. You see this creepy smirk from anything to do with, like, say, the the Trump trial that's going on now, the judge involved, or any of the other political pundits on the reverse side. Anytime you see this smirk, the same one, you know the people that are involved in this chess game that's going on. He was showing me that same look on Caesar's face. So he was pointing out, look for that look. Look for that narcissistic, sardonic grin for the smile. Then you'll find who is actually involved, the pundits or the players involved in that chess game. Like, oh, I got him. Oh, we got him. Oh, both political parties aim at each other, and they don't give a rat's butt about any of the people in between who they hurt. So that's essentially what he wanted to get across too. So I just think that's interesting. I'm going to have to get a copy of that game at some point. It looks fun. Lord of the Rings played that too, huh?
Yeah, it's very fun.
And Star Wars Galactic Battleground was very similar. World of Warcraft, that was similar. League of Legends, similar, I suppose. But then you had basically Warcraft 3 BattleNet Edition. My friend Curtis and I played that quite a bit. The Warcraft games, Diablo, any of those games that are up top, it's similar in its application, sort of. But the Lord of the Rings one was the closest, where you could battle the factions, like with Mordor against like Gondor or all that stuff. So yeah. But I don't have anything else. Ryan, if you want to close it out.
Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one was very informative.
Extremely informative. So thank you, everybody, for watching this show. I hereby close this circle with true benevolence and no conflicting agendas as of this moment in time. Thank you for watching this show. If at some point it would get canceled, no, we put a duplicate of it over on our Rumble accounts. There's a lifting Rumble account, and there is the lifting video games Rumble account. So this is going to be on both of those and on the YouTube. So you'll find it in all three of those places. So thank you, everybody. Bye-bye now. One reference I forgot to put in the show you just watched was a movie called The Last Starfighter. And you heard Isaac mention anything about the tests. Also, one thing is the tests, they either know to try to kill the person, inhibit their life, restrict them from knowing certain things if they're more the warrior type, or they don't want to get involved in the project, wipe their memory, kill them, or include them. The Last Starfighter is a movie that this recruiter from the Galactic Federation comes down to Earth, puts an arcade machine with one of the old 32-bit arcade machines. Now, this was in the 80s, or early mid-80s. This movie came out. And this kid plays this arcade machine, gets a really high score, and this recruiter comes to him. And one of the people in the Galactic Federation says, "You know better than that. You can't recruit people from non-aligned worlds. Wipe his memory and put him back." And he goes, "No, this person got the highest score we've ever seen. Ever. So you have to rescind that. We're at war." Kind of like an Ender's Game thing where like, we're at war, so we're going to push these kids hard kind of thing. But only it's a kinder version of that. So in Harrison Ford says, we can debate the ethics of this some other time. We got to train him. But with this, the video game had a basic story of what the threat was, and that was put in the story of the game, the narrative, and he got a high score. It was kind of like Galaga or one of those types of games. Simple. Hand-eye coordination, that's also tested by military. That's a big thing with them. All of that. But Last Starfighter, the kid ends up winning the war for him, the whole bit. Bit of propaganda in there for the Galactic Federation. The whole bit, the routine with them. But with the military testing, all this other stuff. But one of the most beautiful examples ever done, The Last Starfighter. Also, another one is Flight of the Navigator for government programs and time travel, where this kid falls through a time hole, time slips, and he goes 20 years ahead in the future, and this alien helps him out, and then eventually gets him back, inserts him properly in time, says, you might not go back right, you may die, you may vanish from time altogether, and they create a paradox timeline. The whole Montauk handbook basically was read in there, nonchalantly in that Disney movie. Flight of the Navigator there, but Last Starfighter is the one for the example for this theme. So,
for the theme of the game testing concept. Other than the Stargate universe concept, I also mentioned on the live broadcast, the roundtable we had with Brian Singh and Audra Walters and them that night on YouTube Live. So I'll even put a link to that underneath this show as well, since I mentioned it. So it is 1:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday, September 1st, 2024. Thank you.